Shalom, call all y'all about Shem Shah. Shalom to the left. In this video, I want to go in on various things that's been going on recently, mainly how the deliverance of the elect take place. They've been bringing out a lot of this info in the news and stuff with the chariots being seen all over the place. People have been filming them, taking pictures. I'm going to go on this one channel real quick and let this video play just a little bit. I'll pull some precepts. Yeah, that's just one guy channel. You gotta subscribe to because he be having a lot of info on it, different little articles and footage people send in from around the world. So I just filter through the spirit. I'm gonna let this play real quick this morning. Give a clip. They kind of show some of the article and see these Edomites. They know the truth. That's why they can go around telling a lie. Because in order to tell a lie, you got to know the truth. So let me let this play.
Also, if you guys haven't heard, there's been a couple of million documents, so they say, that have been newly released or declassified, as they're putting it. Here's one of them. Looks like the majority of it is blacked out. You can't even hardly read what it's trying to say. And here's an article dated 5 hours ago, January 12th of 2020. CIA declassifies more than 2 million pages of UFO documents.
Now, why else would they do that in these times that we in right now? Let me go to the scripture real quick. Now, a lot of these eclipses, solar eclipse, lunar eclipses, blood moons, all this different stuff been taking place, but simultaneously while it's taking place. Let me jump back up a little bit. It's in the book of Joel, chapter 2, start at like verse 20 something. Let me start at verse. I'm sorry, verse 19, you know what? Literally at 18, it says restoration. Promise, it says, then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. Because the Most High, he pissed off at the Amalekites over there. Turn his eyes this way. The Amalekites over there playing around, parading around, claiming to be us. And they not us. The conditions that our people in. Got our people, they waiting on Esau to help them out and send them a fucking check, which is stupid. Because look, if they gotta send you money and give you money, that means the economy fucked up and it's through. If it was cool, if the stuff was gonna go back to normal, they just opened up businesses so you can go get your own fucking money. You see, our people, you ain't paying attention and looking at stuff like that. So that's why I say, then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people? Because our people, they in a fucked up state, man. Whether you want to admit it or not. Now, verse 19, it says, yeah, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil. You should be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make a reproach among the heathen. Because over time, we've been a reproach amongst these heathens, whether it be Japanese, Chinese, Spaniards, Indonesians, the Arabs, little inside shit. All these different little heathens, they looked at us like we was a reproach, but they ain't gonna be like that. Verse 20 says, but I will remove far from you the northern army and will drive them to the land barren and desolate, with its face towards the east sea, its hand apart toward the uttermost sea, and stink should come up. And why is stink gonna come up? When they go over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and they actually be fighting each other. When Yahushua come back with the top archangel Michael and all the other angels with the chariots, and they actually come wipe them out. It's gonna be a badass smell from that. That's why it says, and his stink should come up, his ill savor should come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree bear of fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your power. He hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. I'm going to get to the main parts where I want to get into. It says, and the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil, and I will restore you the years that the locusts have eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, a great army which I send among you. And you shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name, because you got to know the name. If you want somebody to come save you, you ain't going to be like, hey, whatever your name is, come save me. You got to know the name. It says, and praise the name of the Lord, your power, and have dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And you should know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your power, which is the name of the Most High is Yahweh, his son's name Yahushua. And it says, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. Now, in verse 28, it says, and it shall come to pass afterward, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And that's why you see a lot of men breaking these scriptures down like this. Because years ago, hey, I went all the way into this book right there. I only knew like certain books, like the book of Psalms, Revelation, Genesis, just little small books, Corinthians, and a little bit of Leviticus. And after that, hey, the whole roll is just open up to me through the Spirit. And also with the help and guidance of certain elders that actually be bringing out the scriptures in truth and sincerity, and not playing around with it. It says, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old man shall dream dreams, your young man shall see visions. And a lot of people be having dreams, visions. Like one that Akim hit me up recently was telling me how his woman had a vision about Jacob's trouble, which is definitely going to happen. That's what they're pushing forward to, because they want to push people into submission. So ultimately they can push this RFID chip on them. Break down everything, break down the U.S. currency, and bring forth a new currency, a digital currency. And I said in verse 29, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire, and pillars of smoke. And you got volcanoes going off, bodies of water being turned blood red, the earth opening up, sinkholes. You got signs in the heaven, whether it be from certain planets being visible, like Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mars, the moon being a certain color, the sun being blacked out from an eclipse. Then simultaneously, like I want to get into, you got the chariots popping up on top of that. And I says the sun should be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Now I said in verse 32, it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever should call on the name of the Lord, because you got to know his name. You can't just say anything you want to say. It says, for Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said. And in the remnant, because that's who's going down, boiling down to, so to speak. It says, and in the remnant, whom the Lord shall come. And that's how people going to make it from this destruction, because you got the CIA and all these different little branches. They declassifying these documents because they know, hey, if we sit around reading this stuff, best believe they got scholars on payroll to go sit around and read this stuff too. And they know about the great and terrible day. So they shook up. And I let him play this some more.
And from what I understand, you can see some of them here. These are apparently some of the documents that have been released, like going back to 1976. More documents here can be found at the Black Vault.
So they've been know about this, and you got these devils, like, when you ask them if you ask them, or you have one of these reporters ask them or something, they'll say, like, if I'm not mistaken, this other video I got queued up, they actually said on there, like, I can't tell you about that, but I mentioned something else real interesting. Some bullshit he said, but I'm gonna get to it in a minute. I'm gonna just finish playing.
You'll find that link down below in the description box. I tried to open it myself, and it would not open. Maybe you guys will have better luck, but apparently, according to the article, there's more than 2 million pages in total of documents relating to UFO incidents from several decades. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of those documents, if anything. But the ones that I've seen, and a few of them I didn't even bother showing you guys, because most of the language was blacked out with marker. So you didn't even really gain any knowledge by what you read. So I wasn't even going to bother sharing it with you guys. But if you want to check it out, you can find the links down below in the description box. Here at the website, we're going to check out the ship in resonance.
I ain't going to play no more. That's what I'm trying to listen to. Other little stuff and other little pictures he got into. But hey, if you want to check out the guy channel or whatever, he has some good stuff in there to filter through. But, let's see this real quick. Now, there's another video that just came out a few days ago. It said last days of Donald. What does Trump want us to know about UFOs? Now, let's get into what these devils got to say on this.
My submission is that what we're looking at is truly, by definition, exotic technologies, beyond next generation technologies.
Mr. President, as we wrap up here, are there UFOs?
Well, I'm going to have to check on that. I will tell you this. We now have created...
This devil, they're going to have to check on that. See, when a person gives you an indirect answer, that's because they know the truth, but they're not going to tell you. You got to know how to see through that bullshit.
A military, the likes of which we've never had before in terms of equipment.
And that's why they got the Space Force, man, because they know what's up. Yeah, let me get this real quick. I'm thinking about it. This is the book of Acts, chapter 1. Verse 11, it says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stands ye gazing up into heaven? And this was the angels talking to them. Because there weren't no aliens like they try to portray. It says, this same Yahweh, which is taken up for you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. Now, for all the little naysayers to be like, oh, it's only God only, it's the Most High only. Hey, what about his son, though? Because the Most High, he ain't even to come down here himself and do nothing. He gonna send his son with the angels. It's an order, it's a hierarchy, so to speak. It's written in the old and in the new. So, like it says right here, it says, this same Yahweh, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go. So if he was took up, or so-called beamed up, he coming back the same way, man. That's why they're releasing all this information about these ships, because they know what's up. They trying to get prepared, which the shit ain't gonna work. Like in 2nd Ezra, it mentioned that. Book of Revelation, it mentioned that. How they gonna get turned into dust. Nothing of them gonna be left. And you heard what he say, man. It's what type of technology he said it was?
By definition, exotic technology, beyond next generation technology.
Beyond next generation technology. So if something gotten beyond next generation technology, that means they can wipe some shit out and turn it into dust.
Mr. President, as we wrap up here, are there UFOs?
Well, I'm going to have to check on that. I will tell you this. We now have created a military, the likes of which we've never had before in terms of equipment, the weapons that we have, and hopefully, hope to God, we never have to use them.
Yeah, but see, the Most High gonna make them use it. Hold up, let's go to it. So let's go to it real quick. book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13, 8, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet there's fight. They gonna be shook. Man, they see the angels, and they, on top of that, dark-skinned men. You got a lot of proud-ass Edomites that's in the military, too. So they look down on, even like, let's say your family member get in the military, and he try to be like an admiral or high position or whatever. They'll do everything in their power to try to keep them from that position. They might let them get up under it, but they ain't gonna let them get exactly into it like that. So they see a dark-skinned man coming mighty in strength, glorious, in some type of ship that they ain't ever seen. Hey man, they gonna be shook the fuck up. I don't care how many years a damn Marine been in the Marines, or Navy SEAL or whatever. I'm gonna read on some more 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And just read on down, saying, after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, which is talking about outer space. And the reason why I said sea, because one of the definitions or terminologies they use for waves outer space is cosmic waves. But anyway, it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had raised himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And they're talking about that ship. That's why they're showing these videos, man. That's exactly why they're showing this stuff and releasing this stuff right now. It says, but I would have seen a region, a place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. After this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. And you heard Donald Duck saying in the little interview, he said, I hope to God we don't have to use it. Hey, they're gonna use this stuff because they're gonna see them angels, they're gonna see them ships, and they're gonna try to fight. And what's gonna happen? It says, but I only saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Which that's parabolic. He ain't finna open his mouth and be spitting out fire like Godzilla and shit. But it says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest. There's talking about a so-called laser. Because even Esau got lasers. And that's all it is. A high-powered flame and fire, different fires mixed together, so to speak. Whether it be from a butane flame or a regular flame. Anyway, it says, and all they were mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. And that's going to be some stink-ass smoke, too, man. And it says, when I saw this, I was afraid. And that's what's going to happen, man. I'm going to let this video play some more. That's why the Most High say, here's the patience and the faith of the saints, because certain men are actually being patient and waiting to visualize this. Let me go to this other scripture real quick. Actually, I'm charging my phone up. Hold on. What's wrong with the charger? In the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 24, it says, for I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. So, man, if you can understand this and you can grasp this fully, man, count yourself as blessed. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, but blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Because some people, you can read this whole book to them, front to back, back to front. Precept upon precept, line upon line. But if they ain't meant to get it, they ain't gonna get it. If they ain't meant to see it, they ain't gonna see it. But only certain people gonna see it and hear it fully. not picking out the little stuff that seem most beneficial to